welcome back once again. Here we are with another edition of Inside the Headset, Week 5, Game 6. I'm with the head coach of the Oakland Patriots, Coach Thomas McDaniel. Coach, last Friday night, you was down at the Dog Pound. You played that game, and you've had a chance to review the video. You've had a chance to work with your team. Where is Oakland Patriots?
I don't know, where am I at right now? I mean, my blood pressure's up, man. Before this camera came on, you know I'm putting out fires right now, don't you? We got to take a breath here. We're in a good place, you know. In the record column, we're 4-1, and that's all great. But we got some individualism, we got some selfishness. We got guys that want to show up when they want to show up and think they can do things the way they want to. So today I'm gonna start dropping the hammer, and that's where I'm at right now. I'm not worried about. I told you last week. I said it on Monday to our team. I'm gonna continue to say it. We weren't worried too much about Smyrna, and that wasn't no disrespect to Smyrna. We're not too worried about Brentwood. I'm more worried about Oakland getting better every day, being a good teammate, being loyal, being consistent. Representing us in and out of the school with the right type of class and dignity. And a lot of little things that we need to get cleaned up. That people say, well, you can't ask a young man to be perfect, or I'm not asking him to be perfect. I know that they're gonna make mistakes, but there's got to be repercussions for things. And hot, man. Now I'm not talking about temperature-wise either. My blood pressure's up.
Well, is it just pure negligence? I mean, they know better, or what? Where are we at?
No, it's just simple things, little things that get lost. We start practice at 3:35, and you're out there at 3:35 and 27 seconds. You're late. I don't care if it's 27 seconds late or 5 minutes late. You're late. To me, that's defiance. To me, I'm going to be 5 minutes early. My friends will tell you, if they're late getting to pick me up to go eat dinner, I'm not happy with them. So these are things that you got to learn. You got to be on time where you're supposed to be.
Or don't hang out with you. Don't be a part of it.
That's right. If a coach has to motivate you at practice, then something's wrong. We got halfway through the season. It's starting to cool off. Things are going well for us right now, and we got a lot of things we got to get better at. But if you got to be motivated externally by something other than just your internal drive, then deep down you're not doing it for the right reasons, and you're not going to help us in the end. So just nothing we haven't always preached, nothing we haven't always been consistent about. But I've often worried. I've said a lot. I've often worried about the offers and the individualism, and I've made comments to you in the past. But we're gonna go win, and we're gonna go fight with people that want to fight for a team. And right now we got some guys that want to think they're bigger than the team, and that football's not an individual sport. So we'll go with get on that bus. We got about 108 right now. Bus is too small anyway, and I need to make some room. So that's a starting point.
So is it?
Coffee's delicious.
Are you just telling these guys basically that toxic attitude is not? There's no way it can stand to move forward, can it?
We got great kids. We talked about this weekend. We've had as far as like major situations or blow-ups or defiance or disrespect. These are all minuscule. They're minor things that make a greater impact. And I think one of the things I talked to our senior class about early on in fall camp is. They didn't have the luxury that these younger guys have with leadership. These guys have learned, to be honest with you, through trials. And I mean, this senior class was a 6-5 football team their sophomore year, and got smacked in the mouth twice by their one of the biggest rivals we had in Siegel. And so they've learned the hard way, how to go about having success. It hadn't been easy, And 6-5 is a lot different than going 0-10. I understand that. But it's still not what we want. But there was a lot of things we've learned through the last couple of years, and they've been able to grow up, see some leadership, see some people that aren't leaders. They've seen both sides. And what I challenged them about early on, was everybody's got to be a leader and be accountable to the younger guys so that we can continue to build on what we've gotten started here. And their legacy is a lot more about the things that they do for the next class of kids than it is their record for us, in my opinion. Again, yes, we want to win a state championship, and that's fine. But and I want to win another one. But there's bigger things than the state championship, and molding these guys into men. To me, when my boss tells me to be here at 7:45, you can trust I'm gonna be here at 7:30. And whenever I'm supposed to be somewhere, I'm gonna be there on time, and I'm gonna usually be early, and I'm gonna do the job the best of my ability, and I'm not gonna have to be motivated. My motivation is from inside, and I want people to work with me that are like that, and I want to be around people like that. And kids have got to learn that. I mean, I wasn't like that when I was 16 or 17, maybe. But
Well, your dad and mom wouldn't tolerate it.
right, but that's right. When I made mistakes, you know, there was repercussions, and so it's just little things that we got to get cleaned up. And you get, you know, as a coach, you kind of get torn about, you know, hey, you're gonna let one guy impact the other 10 or 21 or whatever. You know, one guy's mistake is going to impact. We got 100 kids. We got a bunch of guys chomping at the bit to get in there. So if it's a guy that, you know, whether it's I don't care who it is, if it's Kevin Prather, Jack Jones, Josh Cunningham, if they don't want to do it my way, they don't have to. They don't have to stand down there with us. They don't have to play with us. So I'm going to go down, and I say those names, but I'm just talking about it's open season right now. We're at the midway points. We talked about this on Monday. We're at the midway point of the year. You know, we're a good football team, and we got some little things that are getting in the way of us being great. And so we're going to try to eliminate those distractions. And I want to be around guys that are highly contagious with their attitude, their effort, their coachability, all of those things. And if that's not going to be the case, then we got to get rid of it. And we got.
You don't want them to insult the system.
No.
Don't insult the system of what we've got in place, and the other guys are doing it. So have respect for the whole process of what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and I mean it's not anything new. I think there's been years where, I mean, times change, people change, whatever. But there's been years where I've had to run people off on Fridays because I just didn't like the way they were acting when we were eating a pregame meal. And I mean players. I'm not talking about scout team guys. I'm talking about guys that are going to actually impact the game. But we've just we got some little things that we've got to get. And I say all that, it's nothing that the common person in the stands is going to see. It's nothing that, you know, really at the end of the day, parents will say, well, that's not that big a deal. But it's a big deal to us because there's little things that are creating obstacles in the way of us getting to greatness.
They could grow to bigger.
And I just want, you know, my job and our staff's job as coaches is to push these guys beyond what they think they're, you know, capable of and get them from being whatever player they are right now to the next level of player, whatever that may be. And I'm not talking about college football. I'm just talking about life. I'm talking about talent and life and in general just making them better. And you know, so I had my fire extinguisher, you know, out for a little while there when you got here, and I apologize, but it's all part of the excitement of the job. And you know, every day is a new challenge, and you know, it's just. Trust me, today's no different than yesterday or tomorrow. I'll just keep going forward.
Talked to Coach A a lot yesterday and got to pry into a little bit of his files and stuff, and I'll ask you, everybody has somebody, you talked about your mom and dad, you've talked about certain people. Share with Oakland fans and football fans, who is it that you know, I'm in sales all my life, so I kind of look at Zig Ziglar. He's been one of my, I like announcers, so I follow, I've read the books of Eli Gold. Kind of who are kind of some of the coaches or kind of some of the people that you've kind of said, you know, I like what this guy does, and let's talk about past and present. So who kind of you started with, and now who do you watch currently that's actively coaching?
Well, we got to come back to the Smyrna game because I got to praise the kids that did well Friday.
Okay,
but as far as his impact on me is, I mean, obviously my parents have been a big influence in my life. They always have been. You know, I was raised, you know, I don't know, I was raised the right way, I think. If I wasn't doing well, I got punished for it. And, you know, I had to work at an early age, learn to appreciate, you know, hard work. And it's something I still to this day appreciate. I don't mind getting sweaty and dirty. But as far as coaching influences, I think it's pretty, you know, well known that Coach Rankin is probably my greatest coaching influence. You know, I was fortunate enough to get hired under him when he was kind of in his prime at Riverdale. And also, you know, built a very strong relationship with Ron Crawford, who was the defensive coordinator when I first got there. Those are, you know, probably two of the biggest. Those are the two biggest coaching mentors that I have. I've been doing this now for 14 years. I've been able to establish a lot of great relationships with so many, you know, awesome coaches and better men. But it really, for me, it all starts and ends with Coach Rankin and the things that I learned from him. With the 5 years, you know, I wouldn't trade those 5 years for anything. And I think everything in life is about timing. Getting this job at Oakland, I've said many times this was a dream job for me. every day that I come to work. You know, I'm very passionate about what I do because I don't take this job for granted. Not to say it's an easy job. It's not an easy job, but it's a very fulfilling, very very rewarding, and I'm very fortunate to be at such a great place. But that being said, when I talk about timing, I mean that was a timing thing. That was a God thing for me when I was able to be able to get hired by Coach Rankin. There's a lot of guys with as much probably energy and enthusiasm and want to and determination, all the whatever characteristics that I had at that time that never got placed in that type of environment with someone.
He invested in you and wanted you.
Absolutely, and I was able to learn from a lot of great coaches. I mean, Greg White was on that staff. Steve Britton, who was a former head coach, was on that staff. I mean, you know, there's a lot of great coaches. A lot of guys, several guys that coached with me today were on that staff. But I just was able to be around a lot of good quality men, and
Had some good times and friendships.
heck yes, and still, you know, remain close friends with a lot of those guys. But I think my principles and the things, not just football wise, but really more just I guess running the organization and just handling situations. A lot of it stems from Coach Rankin and Coach Crawford. But that being said, I got to work with Tim Johnson at BGA and learned a whole different set of you know, kind of, I guess from him, the thing that I probably admired the most was his ability to connect with people and really not, when I mean people, I mean kids and parents. He just had a knack for making people fall in love with him. And you know, obviously I don't think I do a great job of that, but it's something that I did learn from him and I was able to see. Most people that know Coach Rankin, he's not, you know, until you really get to know him, he's not
a cuddly guy.
No, he's not a warm, fuzzy guy. He has it in him, but he's not like that initially. And Tim was, you know, very much so like that. So I've just, like I said, timing's everything. I've been very fortunate to be around great men, but to have the relationships I've had with Coach Rankin and Coach Crawford, and to be able to call, you know, two of the most successful guys in the state, not just for coaching advice, but just friendship and just having those men as mentors. It's just about the luck or God put them in my life for a reason. I know that, and I don't take that for granted because I've learned so much from both of them.
All right, back to the gridiron, 100 yards. Talk about Friday night. Yeah, you turned it up, man. You had some great highlights.
Yeah,
some of those kids, man,
Yeah.
they were balling out there. They were hitting hard.
It was an explosive game at times, you know, and very similar to last year's game in the sense that it was a tight game at halftime. It was a tight game even into the, you know, start of the fourth quarter, which I knew it would be. I knew they always play us tough, and like I said, I love playing Smyrna because they're going to be physical. They're going to be aggressive. They're not afraid. I mean, you know, when you go out and play them, it doesn't matter, you know, what level their talent is, which I think their talent is much improved. But it doesn't matter. They're going to come out and try to smack you around. They just got a little edge about them that you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, you know, played 3 quarterbacks. You know, there's a lot to be said about all that. But right now, we're still evaluating. Obviously, Ja'Cory Smith made a great impact early in the game and showed his versatility at times and did some nice things. I guess the same people, different day. I mean, this week I thought Tyler Black did a great job in the second half running the football. And, you know, Josh Cunningham went over to defense more while Tyler played offense. And that's fine. It hadn't worked out that way this year most of the time, but the other night it did. Tyler got the hot hand. We went with him. And, you know, got Kyle involved on some things that we've been trying to get him worked. He looked really good.
Oh, he looked good.
And, you know, defensively, I still think it's a story of still really kind of, I don't know, not really a story of two halves. We gave up some things we shouldn't have given up early. They did a good job schematically early on some run schemes that we hadn't seen them do, so give them credit. They had some stuff in their back pocket for us, and it took some time to get adjusted to it. Once we did, in the second half, we really kind of clamped down on them defensively, and that's really, you know, really been the story of the year for us on defense. But our defensive front, again, played very well. Our linebacker core, you know, everybody knows about Josh Smith and Kevin Prather, but Cameron Newman has stepped in for Greg Cantrell, who broke his leg against Siegel, and has just been, I mean, really phenomenal. Kind of just unassuming. You really wouldn't even notice he's out there, but he's just made a lot of plays for us. So really proud of the way he stepped up. And then we just had a lot of guys, contribute. It's been,
Jacoby had a nice interception.
Jacoby had had a real nice interception and had a nice touchdown as well. So, a lot of guys doing a lot of great things, and obviously Jack was able to get back. And
How'd he do? How'd you feel like after looking at his film, based on what he's got to work with?
It was good for him to get back out there. I think it was good to get that game out of the way so it built his confidence. I think as the game went on, you could tell that he thought less about the knee. Early on, I don't want to say he's hesitant because he's never hesitant, but he was,
But anybody would be.
feeling himself out a little bit, making sure that he was, really, I think in his mind he knew he was good, but wanted to, kind of get those first couple series out of the way. But he picked up about where he left off, I guess. So,
Gelled right back into his
I
position.
think by the time we get to, the fall break, he's going to be back to 100% mentally, and I think that's probably right now the biggest obstacle for him is just feeling that comfort level he has to where I think when he's not thinking about it anymore is when you know that it's a non-issue, and I think we're getting close to that. So, but he definitely came in and did a good job, and like I said, really thought all three quarterbacks did some nice things, but Jacory really, kind of stood out with some of the throws and decisions he made in the ball game.
Do you feel like you're still just putting a simulation of two good quarters together? I don't think you're putting, and I don't mean that as I think it's 4 minutes in the first quarter, maybe 3 minutes in the second, and however you want to do the math to add up. But I think you're somewhere around. You're getting about 2 quarters out of your troops, and it's sporadic, like you said. But you're yet to get that full. And how can you get there, Coach?
I don't know. That's what we're trying to get to. That's why I went on that 7-minute rant or whatever it was when we started this little broadcast. But I don't know. We got to get there. I think the good thing is for us is we're not there yet, so we still have improvements to be made. I don't think we've peaked at all.
No.
But like you said, it's sporadic. We'll go in spurts where we'll hit 4, 5, 6 minutes on defense, look great, and we have a bad series. Same thing on offense.
It's like a boxer, that has a great round, and then he comes back and he gets his face knocked off.
It's just. There's a lot of things involved in that. I think obviously.
I'm not taking away things from the opponent. I'm not.
No. I think. To me, and people aren't going to like me to say, like hearing this, but the first one would be that we were never as good as everybody tried to bill us to be. We had done nothing as a team, and everybody wrote us up to be. We were a paper champion all of a sudden because we had a couple kids with big college offers. It's a 22-man game. I've been saying that for a long time, and just because a couple kids have offers, if you give me a team full of guys that'll fight tooth and nail for every inch, and then you got 3 stud horses and the rest of the guys are just there, that group of 22 is going to beat those 3. That doesn't, the stars and all that stuff don't correlate in high school. I don't care what anybody says. It's not, I've seen a lot of great high school players that never played one down at college.
I've seen some good combine kids that can't play the game of football. So, they can run a 40-yard dash like you've never seen.
It works both ways, but that's part of it. That's not being negative because I don't think our kids have ever have worked like that they were already given something. Our kids have always worked hard. We've had great buy-in as far as, the summer and off season. But between that and I guess the expectation from the outside to me has been too great. Especially when you consider that we don't have a quarterback set yet. And, we had some continuity issues on the offensive line because of Jack being injured. And also because, we lost our top 2 tailbacks from last year. We knew Josh and Tyler were both going to do a good job, and they've done a very, good job of getting in there and filling those voids. But, our top 2 tailbacks from the last 2 years both graduated. And both of these guys are more than capable, but it still takes time with the offensive line, with the quarterback change, and with the position changes for those guys to, to kind of get in sync. And Josh was a safety last year. Tyler broke his leg and didn't play most of the year.
No.
So, it's just going to take time. And I think most of our kids understand that. I don't think there's any impatience. I don't think that there's, any lack of trust or belief. I think everybody kind of feels, I think the kids kind of feel like I do that, for us, it's a chance for us to continue to get better. we have to work on, like I keep saying, work on Oakland getting better every week to where we can potentially play our best football when it really matters. And let's be honest, it doesn't really matter until you get into November. So do we want to beat Brentwood? Absolutely. Do we want to beat Riverdale? Of course. But you got to be playing your best football in November, and that's when you got to get everybody back together and be healthy and have the continuity and all that. So, we're going to see all the stuff in the paper and the blogs, and Krager can put his report card out and all that. That report card means nothing to me. I don't care about that. That's for the parents so they can see their kid's name. That's the stuff that makes my job harder. Is everybody's buying the paper every day. Where's my kid's name? He's got this many rushes. Okay, good. They may not be winning, but hey, if I got my rushes, then I'm happy. So there's too much of that, and as long as we don't have that, buy-in within the team and understand that we got to keep getting better. Like I said, Monday, that's the first thing we did after school. We're at the midway point. Where do we have to go from here? We can continue on this path and be a
and you know the destiny of that,
right? And be a good football team, and that's exactly right.
And out second round of the playoffs.
So. You say that, and everybody is already talking about it, and everybody's already, so everybody's got their crystal ball. Us and Blackman are meeting in the third round. That's a slap in the face to Smyrna. We haven't played Riverdale, but Riverdale's a much improved football team. There's somebody else out there that we don't know about. Everybody wants to just go ahead and was predestined us and Blackman back in the quarterfinals. That doesn't work that way. And anything happens when you get into November. It only takes a couple miscues or a couple injuries to really completely change the complexity of a team. So, anyway, I think case in point with that, and I'm not knocking on Siegel, but you look at Siegel early in the year last year, and by the time they got to the playoffs, it was a totally different football team. They were just wore down. They had too many guys playing both ways. They were tired. They had some big injuries, and they were just a different football team.
Year before that, they lost Stockstill. When you lose that key guy.
So it could be anything. For us, we're just kind of getting in sync on offense at times. We've got, like I said, by fall break, make that decision at quarterback, which we will have made that decision by then, and getting our tailbacks on the same page. We spent a lot of time this week with our tailbacks, and that's what I'm saying. I got 2 senior tailbacks in my office on Monday after practice. We're watching film. We're watching one play like 18 times, and they are in tune, paying attention, asking questions. They want to be coached. They want to learn what they're supposed to do, and these are seniors. I can deal with that all day. That makes my job easy. What I can't deal with is I know what I'm doing, leave me alone, because the day that I don't need to coach you is the day you don't need to be here. I'm here to coach. I've said many times, Monday through Thursday, the process, the grind, whatever you want to call it, to me is a lot more enjoyable. I love coming in on the weekends and working. Watching kids progress, watching a kid make a great play that you knew was capable of making it. Cameron Newman making a big sack against Smyrna, those are the things that we enjoy, that I enjoy.
That's the glory.
Fridays, they're fun, but to me, they're nerve-wracking. I feel like I'm going to pass out, or I'm going to have a heart attack, or those are. It's fun when it's over, and it's fun in moments when you. But I enjoy the process a lot more than I do the Fridays. So, again, it's about coaching kids and getting them to be the best they can be and be accountable and be, servant. And those are hard things to do in today's society, but it's important. And be there for your teammate. So we're going to continue to keep working on those things. Like I said, our overall team chemistry and the culture of our locker room right now, I think, is completely fine. It's just, what are the little things can we fine tune? What are the things that you can say, well, he's looking to harp on this, or he's trying to find problems. I'm not trying to find anything. I'm just saying, don't let good get in the way. I think it's Jim Collins. Don't let good get in the way of being great. And right now we're a good football team. What do we have to do to be great? Because what we're doing right now, like you said, is inconsistency. And if you're inconsistent, you can't be great. Yeah. So that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're about. So moving forward to Brentwood, hopefully we can put our best product on the field to date. Like you said, can we play 24, 28, 30 minutes? I don't know. But eliminating those penalties, eliminating those silly mistakes.
I thought you did a better job Friday night.
Well, I think we only had 3 or 4 penalties.
Yeah, that's it.
And that was a game that scared me. I think I told you, but there's some chirping, and there's no love lost between us and Smyrna. And I was really, nervous about somebody getting, a
A
personal
little bit out of control.
Yeah, but
It's
really
happened.
both sides did a great job, I thought, of keeping their composure and what you're supposed to do, which is play the game in between the whistle. So
Yeah. And
I
Whitehead guy kept control
Yeah,
of it, but then again, let them play.
Yeah,
You know,
I thought it was very respectful as far as that goes, and but we just got minor things assignment wise, or we're a half a step away, or just little things that I think we've identified that we've got to fix for us to continue to improve and put our best product out there. So Brentwood's down a little bit. They won one last week, so they got a little momentum coming into this one, but it'll be another challenge for us, and really. Like I've tried to tell our guys, Fridays are for them. Saturday through Thursday are for the coaches to get you there, but Friday's really for them. And what we're trying to do is just get them to understand Friday's supposed to be our best day. Fridays are supposed to be your best days. Those are the days where you get, mentally focused when you're supposed to, get yourself ready to play and go out and perform, because that's what everybody's there to see, is you go out and ball. Go out and have a great time and have fun. And we've not always done a good job of that, and I talked to you last week about keeping a fine balance with, coaching them too much during the game, not coaching them enough, getting too in their ear and not saying anything to them. So trying to find that balance and strike, the pendulum where it needs to be.
with a 15-year-old kid.
Yeah, but I know I'm working on it, because I'm probably the world's worst about freaking out, just constantly on the sideline about everything. And that sometimes that makes kids freak out, or they go into shell, or they play nervous, or they play hesitant. Well, that's not good either. So just finding that balance and letting them know that Fridays are their best days, And so that's what we're trying to work toward. And I think we're continually getting there.
Let's close with one last thing. You had them on the schedule, Brentwood. What is the talk about? And I'm not trying to get you to look ahead or anything, but what is the talk about playing again next year? What are you hearing? I mean, do they want to continue a series? I mean, it's kind of the feel of this thing, because it's not going to mean anything. I mean, the way they got the thing now.
I would hope that they would. I mean, Mike and I've had a good relationship, and I've got a good relationship with several guys in Williamson County. So, to me, Williamson County is a natural fit with Rutherford County.
I'd like to play Lebanon. I'd like to play Ravenwood. I'd like to see that kind of are we looking at the same type of roadmap, together?
Yeah, I think, but I mean the Wilson County, Sumner County thing, I don't have as good a feel on, but with Williamson County, with Rector at Centennial and Hester at Ravenwood, and Mike being at Brentwood, and even Scott Blade at Independence, those are all people we've either scrimmaged or played. We played Independence at one time. We played Ravenwood at one time. We played Brentwood before. So I foresee it being a change in a positive direction. I really think the Williamson County, Rutherford County connection will. Usually they'll play us
That'll
one.
do a good game for everybody.
Yeah, well, they'll play us one, and we'll play them one somewhere, But I don't see why, Franklin and us, and Franklin and Siegel, or Brentwood and us, and Brentwood and Blackman. I don't see why you wouldn't still see those matchups.
You're going to have to be challenged before you get to that playoff.
Right.
So
and the punishment's not going to be on overall record and who you're playing out of district. So I think that'll improve. I know the guys I know in that league, and I know most of them. They're not scared to play us, and I'm saying us as in District 7, AAA.
It's not scared to play you. It's scared to take the loss and not get in the playoffs,
right?
Because of the system.
I think with the new system that all those guys will look to play the guys in this league, and most of them have, like I said, friendships or ties somewhere associated with this league. So I look for it to improve.
Well, they want to beat you.
More. Yeah, but it'll be, and which is good.
Yeah.
But it just makes total sense. So hopefully these Memphis trips and these Chattanooga trips and these trips to Dollywood for some of them, and Kentucky and Alabama, hopefully that stuff is a way of the past after this year.
All right, let's wrap it up. So Friday night, over to Davidson County, that's where Brentwood is. So y'all be there 7 o'clock. Brentwood Bruins, Oakland Patriots.